For our next session, we are honored to showcase an inspirational keynote speaker who is an award-winning author and a purpose coach to professionals from all walks of life. He's often heard saying, God has been kind in showering him with two skills, simplifying the complex and inspiring the uninspired. He is Anish Baheti, representing Australia. His session title is Creating Fun and Playful Learning Experiences Using a Deck of 52 Cards. Hello, Anish. How are you?
I am doing extremely well. Thank you, Anusha. I hope I am loud and clear.
You are loud and clear. The stage is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank Beena for giving such a wonderful talk. I picked number 36 in my first attempt, and then I changed it to 39, and then I finally realized it was 57. So I'm also learning. So thank you, Beena, for that wonderful presentation. So I hope my presentation is on, Anusha. Can everyone see that?
It is on, Anish. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, good. So my topic is creating fun and playful learning experiences using a deck of 52 cards. And I'm just going to give you a bit of a background. So Anusha has introduced me, and that's a very good sort of an introduction. But I will also tell you something which I felt when I was starting off my career. So I was actually in the youngest CA list of India. So I hope everyone knows about that qualification, Chartered Accountancy, CA program. And CA program in India is supposed to be one of the most competitive and a challenging sort of a qualification. So we used to study for about 16 to 17 hours each day. And most of the learning was all about remembering a lot of stuff and all that. So I was very blessed in a way that I got my CA degree at the age of 22. And after getting my CA degree, I was in a state of confusion, as is shown by the slide. I was feeling lost and confused. Even though I got my degree, it was very clear for a lot of people that once I've become a CA, then either I get into practice or maybe I, do a job in a multinational corporation. But I was feeling lost and confused. I started getting a lot of offers from a lot of companies, really nice package and really nice profile, something which you would just grab it, I worked for one company in one function. I didn't like the environment. I changed my job. Then I changed another job. I quit from the previous job and changed the function in another company. So I changed almost 6 jobs in a span of 9 months when I was starting. At that point of time, I was feeling very weird. Something is wrong. What's going on? But today, when I look back, when I'm trying to connect the dots, when I look back today, I feel that it was one of the most challenging but very good sort of a decision, because I was just trying to test waters. And if it is not gelling with my personality, if it was not in sync with my DNA, it was better for me to leave and quit. So one thing which I learned from that episode in my life is it's okay to quit. It's okay, absolutely fine to quit. Don't take too much of stress about it. So after doing my CA, I went overseas and I came down to Australia. I did my MBA program in Sydney. And one of the life turning point which happened, like a turning point in my life which happened was when I was doing my MBA program. So obviously after doing my CA, my next logical step would have been to do MBA in accounting and finance, like majoring in accounting and finance. And while I was doing accounting major over there, there was one of the core subject, which is financial accounting, which everyone has to do. If anyone wants to do MBA program, they have to do financial accounting or maybe an accounting program, accounting course. So I was sitting comfortably in the class because I I knew what the professor is going to talk. I've done my CA, so everything is very simple, clear. I can cut through the jargon and understand what is the meat of the session. But I have seen a lot of blank faces. I've seen some of my friends looking very confused what the professor was talking. Maybe the pace of the professor was not that, the same level of the student. He was going very fast. He was expecting a lot of students to understand certain basic things, which a lot of students didn't understand because they are coming from non-accounting background. The reason I'm sharing all this is to give you the context of how, I came up with this idea. So after the class was over, then, a lot of people used to ask me, Anish, can you help me with this topic? Can you explain me in your own words? You can understand what problem we are facing. So then I started helping a lot of people. I tried to simplify. So as Anusha mentioned in the introduction, I feel I can simplify a lot of things. So that's what I was doing. I just gave them different way of looking at things. Why don't you look at this problem from a different perspective, and just trying to dissolve the confusion around the problem. So that was one incident which happened. And then second incident which happened was I was helping another friend. She was doing engineering management, and she has to do accounting as a core subject also. And she was stuck in accounting, and she said, Anish, can you help me with accounting? I helped her. Did the same thing which I did with other friends and students, dissolve the confusion. And then there was a spark in her eyes. She felt that, oh, wow, Anish, you had really helped me understand, helped me fall in love with accounting. She was really fearful of numbers. Now she's saying that she's falling in love with accounting. And she was able to do it by herself rather than giving her straight solution. She was able to take the tools which I gave and then implement it on that specific problem. And she cleared the accounting exam. She said something to me which actually laid the foundation of Train My Brain, which is my business. She said, Anish, you have got a knack of simplifying at my level. So being a CA, you came down to my level, explained accounting in a very simple, lucid language, and helped me fall in love with numbers. And that's what I'm doing today. So simplifying and inspiring. So the idea of the deck of cards came from that session, from those two episodes, accounting. So I was always feeling that there has to be a simple way of understanding accounting. There has to be a playfulness around that concept of accounting. It has to be made fun. It has to be made experiential. And anyone can be, anyone from any walk of life should be able to do that. So I came up with this deck of cards. It is called as numbers deck. And the whole idea of this numbers deck is to teach accounting to non-accountants in 90 minutes just by making them play with cards. So the way we have the playing cards, it's the same format, but it is structured in a way that anyone from non-accounting background can understand it. So I'm going to demonstrate that to you in this talk itself, like how it has been structured. So as we are aware that the universe is made of 5 elements, can someone tell me what are the 5 elements in the chat box? What are the 5 elements? The 5 elements of our universe. What are, yes, fire. Wonderful. Earth, water, wind. Okay, wonderful. Similarly, accounting is made of 5 elements. The first element is what we call as an asset. Now, the simple way to understand what an asset is, anything which a business owns. That's the word which you need to remember. That's the Q word. Anything which a business owns is an asset. The second element is a liability. Anything which a business owes to somebody else, maybe to the supplier, to the consumer, to the tax authority, is a liability for the business. The third element is called as owner's equity. That is owner's contribution in the business. And we usually call it as a residue. Let me give you an example. Let's assume that I go to Harvey Norman and I purchase a machine worth $10,000 for my business. So that asset value is $10,000. And I go and approach CBA, Commonwealth Bank, and I say, hey, I would like to take a loan of $7,000. So I owe Commonwealth Bank $7,000 in the future. So it's a liability on my, and I put a down payment, writing a check or giving cash to Harvey Norman from my own bank account of $3,000. So you will see that the asset of 10,000 is made of two parts: a liability of 7,000 and the residual, which is your owner's equity of 3,000. So that is the three element which sits into a balance sheet of a company. Okay, so that is the three element. Now we have two more elements. The next one is called as revenue. Anything which a business earns is a revenue. And then the last element which we have is expenses. Anything which a business incurs is an expense. Simple example, $1,000 worth of revenue, you have an expenses of say $400. The remaining $600 is the profit, and expenses and revenue are going to sit in your income statement. So that's it, guys. In one slide, you have 5 elements which are the core of accounting. You have 5 keywords to understand what this 5 elements relate to. You have a simple example, and then you have the 2 main financial statement where it all sits in: the balance sheet and the income statement. So that this is just one of the glimpse, one of the thing which I talk about, the numbers deck or the accounting for non-accountants in 90 minutes. So this is how the cards look like, and we are doing this session now with kids. Basically, 5th grade kids are also learning accounting. We are doing it with entrepreneurs, with startup. We are doing it online, offline. The best part is everyone is liking the short and the crisp part of it. Like in 90 minutes, if I can understand the language of business, why not? So that's the whole idea of creating this number stack. Now, when I created this, it was absolutely clear in my head that whatever I'm going to do next, it will be, I will try and keep it inspiringly simple. First of all, I will keep it really simple for people to understand, and it also has to give that inspiration to the individual to learn a bit more about it. So that became like a motto for me, for my next project. So I was just thinking, there is something else in my life which I need to do, apart from the CA qualification and the numbers deck. There is something else which I can do. And that's when I attended one of the program of Tony Robbins. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would know Tony Robbins, Anthony Robbins. And I did the UPW, the Unleashed Power Within program in Sydney. And it was slightly a turning point again in my life to explore a bit more about my own personality and, what else I can do. And, taking all that information, I was one fine day sitting in a cafe, and I was sitting with a notepad, just trying to figure out like what else is going to come up, in my mind. And I still remember that day, I was sitting at the very back of the cafe and just trying to focus and trying to put all the energy into what's going to come next. And I see a lot of people walking into the cafe. They were friends, they were couples, they were individual, they were family members, all walking into the cafe. And although I was not very inclined to hear what they are saying, I was still trying to, in my sort of a zone, but somehow I was able to listen to their talk. Not specifically the entire talk, but what I could understand that a lot of people were talking about emotions. So some of they were displaying emotions, they were talking about emotions. So a lot of people were happy, some people were sad, some people were surprised, some people were angry. All sorts of emotions I witnessed in that specific cafe on that specific day. And the common theme that day, which I felt, was a lot of people were feeling that life is complicated. A lot of people felt that, oh, I've got so many challenges at work. I've got so many challenges in my personal life. My wife doesn't listen. My kid doesn't listen. So they were thinking that life is very complicated. That was like a common theme for that specific day when I was sitting there. So I felt there has to be a nice, simple, easy way to explain life's emotion, in a slightly different manner. And that's how the life deck came into being. It was over a cup of coffee. And there were 52, I selected 52 emotions or 52 cards, which talks about different emotions in our life, right from needs to purpose. So, in all the cards, I made sure, it was falling in sequence. So once you complete one card, when you go to the next card, it is actually it's like a sequence which you are building up. So I structured all the negative emotions first, and then slowly and gradually came to the balanced emotion, and then slowly and gradually came down to the positive emotion. So it's a journey from needs to purpose. The last card is on purpose, which is a very positive sort of a card. And, that's how it came to be. Today, I want to demonstrate. I've picked up two specific cards, which I really want to share today. And hopefully, maybe if you want, I strongly suggest, if possible, have a piece of paper and pen and just do this exercise with me. Okay, it might be really helpful. You can also do it later on, but make sure you take some points from this session itself. Okay? And I'm going to start with card number 52. It's sometimes very good to start from the end because the end could be a new beginning. So I'm going to start with card number 52, which is on purpose. Now, the Japanese call it as an ikigai. Ikigai is the reason for being. Why should I wake up in the morning? Like, what is pulling me to wake up in the morning? What is that something which I really want to achieve today? If I have if I have no dream, I would rather sleep. Okay. So there is a village called as Okinawa in Japan. In my recent visit to Japan, I came to know about this village, and I came to know about this book, which is called as Ikigai. I read that book, and I just fell in love with that concept of Ikigai. There are people, the average age of an individual in the village of Okinawa is around 90 plus. And if you ask them, like, what is the main reason for living so long? They will say, apart from the clean weather, apart from the clean food, the friends and family connection, etc., apart from all that, everyone has got an ikigai. Everyone has got a purpose. And that is what is pulling them rather than they pushing towards it. So I'm going to talk about this card. This is card number 52. I want you to pull up 5 skills. I want you to think about 5 skills which you have and write it down on a piece of paper. So just write the title as skills and write 5 skills which you feel you have got. It could be painting, it could be cooking, it could be teaching, it could be anything. Just think of 5 skills. You just have to keep it yourself. 5 skills which you feel you have it. Now, once this exercise is complete, you can always expand. Instead of 5, you can come up with 10 skills, no problem. The more you expand, the more you're opening up your mind and heart. Okay, so it's really good. Now, if you have got 5 skills, the next thing which I really want you to focus on is what are 3 areas which can get you paid. So what are those 3 areas where you're getting paid right now, or you think that you will get paid in the future? Think about that. 3 areas where you're getting paid or where you think you will get paid in the future. Okay. And the last one, which I want you to focus on, what are 2 areas which you love to do, even for free, even at 2 o'clock in the morning? It could be helping a friend, it could be counseling, it could be cooking, it could be anything which you love to do for free. 2 areas. Great. Now, I'm going to make it slightly interactive, okay? So this is the time you can use the chat box. Anyone who is interested in sharing their skills, their pay, and their love section, anything which you would like to. In fact, if you want, you can unmute yourself and you can talk about it. What are the skills which you have written? What are the pay section? What are the things which have gone in the pay section? And what are the things which you love to do? Thinking positively, Jyoti, okay, without complaining. That's one of the things which you're getting paid for. Okay. Jyoti, what are your skills? If you want, you can unmute yourself, Jyoti. It will be really nice to have a conversation.
Skills as in terms of my profession at the moment, or?
Yeah, so whatever you think, Jyoti, you are really skilled at. It doesn't has to be with your profession. Like it could be for someone like driving is a skill. For someone, communicating is a skill. So what do you think you are skilled at?
Yes, communicating and creating a balance.
Mm-hmm.
Then I can see a lot of problem solving popping up. Yeah, I'm very good at intervening and creating a balance between conflicts.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's hear from the others.
Okay, no, that's good. Those are really good skills. Okay. As I said, Jyoti, try and think about this later after the end of the session also. You will come up with, trust me, when I do this session, when I do this exercise, people start off with three skills. They think that, oh, I don't think so, I have any skills. And then once they start getting into that zone, they come up with 10, 15, 20 skills. Okay. So you have mentioned about communication. You have mentioned about solving problems or being like a bridge between people, and you did mention that you are getting paid for thinking positively. Okay. Is there anything which you love to do for free?
Hi, Jyoti.
Hi. So let's hear from the others. I'll get back.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So I've got Nisi. Nisi, would you like to unmute yourself and talk about your skills, pay, and love?
Okay. I am a good musician. I play the piano.
Wonderful.
I'm a good teacher. I teach. I love to teach, especially kids from like age 1 to 6.
Okay.
I really enjoy. So
Mhm.
couple of skills like that, and also love to listen to people's problems and solve them.
Okay.
So right now, what I've realized is that I'm getting paid for 2 things that I love to do. Or things that is, I teach online, and I've been solving parents' problems with their children. I've been I also, like, for some of the teachers who work with me, for me, that just happened incidentally. I give them during their birthdays, I give them extra money. Got some health issues for their first treatment, I would help them, give them some money for that. And I just did that because it just made me feel good. And I realized it is a strategy by itself to grow my team. And just this morning, just want to share a little personally within few seconds that I had like so many parents post and a video, and they were like in the comment section about our teaching and what impact we are making online. Although we are not present physically, but how much change we are creating from different parts of the world. So yeah.
Amazing, Nisi. I think you are doing a great job. Do you also want to highlight something on the love side of it? Like, what is something which you love to do even for free?
Right.
Helping.
I think yes, helping others. Yes.
Exactly.
Become better and better. And I think it's me better also. Yeah. But probably, at a beach. So I could enjoy what I love doing even more. Yeah.
True.
For free.
So, Yeah, this is amazing. So it's basically, you have that I felt that you have a feeling of contributing. There is some feeling which comes from the within that you really want to contribute to the world. You really want to add
Right.
some value. You need to help. You want to help people. You want to help kids, their parents. So
Right.
that is like a flavor which is coming out very, very strong in your personality. So
Hmm.
I'm getting a lot of responses now, but in the interest of time, maybe I'm just going to connect the dots with what Nisi has mentioned. When you have the three sections, the skill, the pay, and the love, when
Hmm.
you see, when you combine all three, that's card number 52, which is on
Wow.
purpose. You will see a common thread, which is in your skill area, in the pay section, where you're actually getting paid right now or in the future, and
Right.
something which you love to do. If you can find that common thread, that could be your ikigai. That could be your
Right.
purpose.
Wow.
Mark Twain once said that there are two most important days in your life. One, when you're born, and second, when you find out why you were born in the first place. So this is all
Hmm.
about day number two. You're figuring it out, like why you were born and what is that something which is pulling you towards life. And if you
Right.
can find that thread, it might change in the future. It's quite possible that your purpose might change as you go along. Because you come to know about your more skills, you come to know about what are the more avenues where you can get paid for. You will also come to know about your own what you really love to do. When you try and do a lot of meditation, you will get a lot of insights. Okay, it might change in the future, but if you try and design your life, if you try and design your business or your work around your purpose, trust me, you will never ever feel that you're working for a single day also.
Yeah.
7 days, you will just flow. So that is one thing which I really want people to take away from today's session. Anusha, I don't think so I will be able to take any more interaction for this specific activity. Is that okay? I mean, do we
Yes,
have
yes,
time
Anish, sure.
yeah,
Yes.
okay. Okay, good. So that is one card which I really want to talk about. And similarly, as I said, there are 52 different emotions, right? So mental health is very, very like a common sort of a problem. Every single person is going to face some sort of a mental issue in the entire lifespan. It is going to happen. And doing a bit of a research, I came to know that 3 out of 6 people usually they don't get, if they are faced with a mental disorder, they usually don't get the right treatment. 3 out of 6, which is 50% of the population. And then 5 out of 6, I also figured out this, that 5 out of 6 of those people who couldn't get the right treatment, they can actually heal themselves. And I kid you not, they can actually heal themselves by using self-love, self-motivation, self-care. It might be challenging at the start, but it is going to give drastic, enormous sort of improvement in their lifestyle later on. Okay, so that is one thing which I really wanted to, like, I came about this and I found that maybe self-love and self-care is one of the things which we should start imbibing in our personality on a day-to-day basis. So I came up with this card number 46, which is on wisdom. And you will see 4 sections here. So we'll start with the clockwise. We'll start with control, manage, accept, and ignore. The better word of ignore is let go. Okay. And I converted this into different cups. So the first cup is called as a control cup. Okay. Now you can do this exercise on a daily basis. All these 52 cards you can actually try and implement on a daily basis. Okay. So what you need to do here, in fact, I do this on a daily basis. Okay. So I have got a cup called as control cup, and I write it on a piece of paper. What are the things I'm trying to control? So, am I trying to control somebody else's behavior? I'm going to write down that person's name and I'm going to fold it and put it into this cup. Um, what are the things in your life which you feel you are controlling? It may be anybody else's behavior. It may be your work. It may be your colleagues. It may be your partner, whoever you think you are trying to control. So let me give you a very silly example. So right now I'm in this room. Nobody else is in this room. And I have full control over the aircon remote. I can change the aircon temperature. It's in my control. Imagine there are 4 or 5 people sitting in this room. I might not be able to control the temperature, because then I have to think about what other people are also feeling. Okay, so that is not in my control. But if I'm sitting alone, the air con temperature is in my control. So if I have to give you a simple example, I feel your happiness and sadness is in your control. This is just one of the examples. The next cup is the cup of manage cup. Things which you can't control, you need to learn to manage. So I personally feel that your health and your wealth, you need to manage. Even when you're going, the traffic, you need to manage. You can't control the lights, you have to manage it. So what are those things in your life which you are managing? You need to write it on a piece of paper, fold it, and put it into this cup called as the manage cup. The third cup is the cup of acceptance. What are the things which you have learned to accept the way it is? So personally, I feel that, for me, I have to accept my past. I have to accept the imperfections in my body. I have to learn to accept that. So what are those things which you have learned to accept in your life? Write it down on a piece of paper, fold it, put it into this cup. And then the last cup is the ignore or the letting go. What are the things which you have learned to let go in your life? Personally, for me, toxic food. Personally, for me, toxic relationship. Other people's judgment about me. I have to learn to let go. What are the things which you have learned to do? Put it into this cup. Now, how do we do this exercise? If you do it honestly, you will see that there are a lot of chits, there are a lot of write-ups in your control cup. Even though if you're not feeling that you're controlling, but if you look very closely, you are trying to control a lot of things in your life. And the idea here is to become slightly more mindful. You open that chit and see, is it really in my control? Can I learn to manage it? You can shift that chit from control cup to the manage cup. Can I learn to accept it? You can shift it from the control cup to the accept cup. Can I learn to let it go? You can shift it to the let go cup. The more your control cup becomes lighter and lighter and lighter, and the more your accept cup and the let go cup becomes brighter and brighter, chances are your level of anxiety, chances are your level of worry or the worry circle is going to, the anxiety level is going to go down, because you are now in sync with the nature. You are now in flow with the nature. There is no friction. And that is the magic of this card number 46. Is there anyone who would like to share something which they feel they are controlling, but they think if they think mindfully, that can actually go into any of the other three cups? I just want maybe a couple of people's suggestion over there. Anything which you feel you're controlling, but if you think mindfully, you can shift it from the control cup to the either manage cup, accept cup, or let go cup. You can put in the chat box. Anybody? You can even unmute yourself if you want to share.
Anish, I would like to talk. Is it okay?
Sure.
Thank you.
Ina. I love this philosophy, and I think it's very important for all of us. I mean, I'm working towards it. I know that what I'm controlling, thinking about the control is sort of, let's say, my emotion, or whether why am I mean, most of the time we are supposed to control our emotions, and certain things that say like anger, and how do I manage that anger, and how do I accept that, okay, I'm angry, and talking about that in a different way, or channelizing that anger into a positive thinking, and allowing that scenario to go away. I mean, I've been working towards it, and it has really, really, really worked well. and it just makes my whole life so much more calm. I mean,
True.
it's just amazing. I think the emotion, I think that the anger that I've really worked on has really managed. I've managed pretty well, and I've let go so many of my anger or thinking about the anger. So, you create your own anger. There is no anger as such, but you create it by making stories and relating to our stories and making it more complex.
Veena, amazing point, amazing point. In fact, that is one of the emotion which is very, very strong, negative, but very strong. And we need to learn to understand. You should not let it sink into your body, because otherwise it is going to show up in your health. You should also not let it out because you are impacting somebody else's health. You need to have you need to actually dissolve it in a very nicer way. And the way to dissolve it is to have an understanding about why you're getting angry, and having all that. So I've got a card on anger also. What is this anger all about? Like, there are either you are feeling pain, or you are feeling some sort of a fear, or you are irritated. These are like the main reason of reason for being angry. So those are some of the points, and it's good. You have given a very good sort of an insight. So thank you very much. Anusha, can we take one more? Shubhra, can we take Shubhra's question?
Yes, sure. Anish, you have still 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay.
I thank you so much. Thank you so much. I just wanted to share this experience that I have lately started feeling. I joined as a coordinator in a school, and there were a couple of teachers who perhaps thought that they were better fitting the job profile. So they started challenging whatever decisions I used to, whatever used to be discussed, and I used to give my ideas. And initially, it used to infuriate me a lot. I used to get angry that they are not respecting the decisions, or they are not trying to cooperate. Gradually, I started seeing that it used to actually affect me so much that even when I was home, it used to keep, I used to replay it in my mind, and was affecting my own health and my relationship. So gradually, like you said, absolutely. I mean, I agree with that, that I started accepting that this is something which will not happen over a period, I mean, immediately. It will take some time. And I started accepting how they were behaving with me and trying to see their perspective and make them see my perspective. Somehow I feel that mindset, I started developing that mindset. Instead of trying to control them, I started controlling myself. I was able to accept that, yes, this is something which I have to deal with over a period of time. And now I found some peace with my profile, with my teachers, and I guess it has worked a little bit better for me now.
Amazing, Shubhra. Very, very nice point. And just if I have to add one more thing over there, the reason we get angry, the reason, and I am telling about my own self also. Okay, the reason I will feel angry is initially we feel irritated. Then that irritation turns into frustration, and then frustration turns into anger. And the reason we feel angry is that person, that situation, that event, that thing is not behaving the way I want it to behave right now. That's the main reason. Okay, if that start behaving according to what I want, then I feel really happy. If it doesn't behave the way I want it to behave, then I become really angry. So in a way, we are like kids. Okay, it should go according to what I want, right? So anger is like that. When you start thinking that everything is set, you have to do your effort. Everything is set. People are just going to say, they are going to behave, they are going to function the way they are supposed to function at this point of time. You cannot change. When you start having that sort of a mindset, you are in an acceptance zone. It doesn't mean that you become passive. You put your effort, and then you let it unfold the way it wants to unfold. And that's how it should happen. So very good point, Shubhra. Thank you very much. Neelam, would you like to share something?
Yeah, right. Thank you, Anish. And this is a very important and interesting topic. And I'd like to share an experience from my real life, my own son. So a very gifted child, and yet, as parents, how we want to control the way they grow up. We have a certain mold, and that created a lot of conflict. And then later on, when it was a lot of introspection when I realized I have my own values and standards which I have set up, that people have to measure up to that. And that I was making his life as miserable as I might have felt when I was growing up and when people had the same kind of expectations out of me.
True.
And so when I realized that, and when as you said, poured it into the cups of acceptance and let go, and created that positive environment where we were sharing and acknowledging each other's thoughts and emotions, and that's when a paradigm shift happened in the relationship, right?
Wow.
And now it is a time when he will want to share each and every small thing in his life. He's just completing his legal degree, so he's a grown-up man now, that way. So I thought the lesson that I got from my real life as a teacher, when I take that learning to my classroom, or as a team lead, when I take it to the staff room, it has really helped me evolve and understand other people's perspective and take it forward very positively. That's something I wanted to share. Thank you.
Amazing, Neelam. And that is what is, I would say, it's like a huge sort of a growth in your own personality, in your own perspective, in your own perception. And you will trust me, your body will tell you absolutely when you are in sync with the nature or not. You will start feeling irritated. You will start, your body will give you all that sort of negative vibration when you're trying to control certain things. And when you start accepting things, when you start letting go certain things, and you start managing certain things which you are initially controlling, your body will automatically get relaxed. So that is also one more sign which if you become slightly more mindful. And I think one of the person has mentioned in the chat box about Vipassana meditation, which is also a beautiful technique. It's a beautiful meditation technique, which tells you about, how to accept things as they are unfolding using your body's vibrations and your body's, what happens to your body. And if you just be aware of what's happening in your body without making any sort of judgment or reaction, you're actually inculcating that nature of acceptance in your real life as well. So that's a very good sort of a beautiful technique. So Anusha has given me a heads up here. So yeah, I want to keep that in mind. Siva, I think you have got one question. You are saying how to avoid toxic people or immature people at our workplace. That is your question. So I would say that you have to stop controlling them. Obviously, we can't control them. If you have to work with them, you need to learn a strategy to manage their behavior. But the idea which I usually take on board for my own self is I look at the energy of that person. If that energy is actually going to suck my energy, I try and move out of that situation or move out of that place, because I really want to conserve my energy. It's not about time management, trust me, it's all about energy management. So if I feel that someone is like a sucker and they're going to suck my energy, I'm going to move away from that. But if you have to work with them, then you have to manage it. You just need to make sure that, whatever the work needs to be done, you need to get it done. And then you move away from that. So you conserve your energy. And if it's possible for you to let go those people out of your relationship, if there's somebody else who can take on board, if there is somebody else who can understand them better, etc., if there is a possibility, see if you can let go from that situation or that person. So I hope, Siva, I've answered your question. So I'm going to quickly move on. Yeah, quickly move on to the next slide. And this is basically a book has been written. So the 52 cards are the cards, and then a book has been written on the cards. Book is also very, very simple. It's 104 pages, 52 cards, 104 pages. So you have got card on the left hand side and the write-up, which explains the card on the right hand side. Video on demand courses has been created on this live text. So a lot of people are enrolling into short courses. If someone wants to understand about anxiety, the simple concept of 4 boxes. Someone wants to understand stress, simple concept on managing stress. Okay, so all those has been broken down into 52 video on demand. So the whole idea is to build self-awareness, self-motivation using deck of 52 cards. The idea is to give you a spark. The idea is to convert fear into fuel and lead a life by design, not by default, one card at a time. So that's life deck. So that's it, guys. These are the 2 decks: numbers deck, teaching accounting in 90 minutes using 52 cards, and life deck, building social emotional learning using 52 cards. Why the deck of cards? So I personally feel that it keeps learning joyful. It is very, very simple. So it's nothing like, you will not see any sort of a jargon or very very complicated stuff. It's very, very simple, and it is experiential. So we do it in a face-to-face workshop. You also do it online. So it is with or without digitizing. It keeps it more engaged, more relaxed, and more enjoyable. And that's the reason I've chosen deck of cards as the tool to teach all my future, whatever I'm going to create it around the deck of cards, because I personally find it as a physical, playful tool, which anyone can carry and they can actually learn it in a physical environment. We are taking it to schools now, into educational institutions, schools, colleges, university. We are going global. So we have started doing sessions in US, Dubai, Australia, obviously. So, and we are doing it online, and we are doing it, on-demand courses, live workshops, and tailor-made programs also. It's ideal for incubation center entrepreneurs, who wants to understand accounting in a simplified version, educational institution who want to teach their faculties and teach their students, about life, corporate, L&D function, and then obviously individual. I do a lot of individual sessions, by the way. So that's it. And we just recently got awarded innovation in education in Dubai using the deck of cards, and also in Vegas in 2022. So this is my last slide, and I tried this numbers deck with grade 5 students. So these are all the students in Bangalore, and as you can see on the table, these are all the numbers deck. Actually, these are cards which I was teaching them accounting. They've never heard about accounting in their life, and I kid you not, in 70 minutes, in 70 minutes, all the students were able to understand accounting, understand assets, liability, owner's equity, how to see a transaction, what is a transaction, what is debit, what is credit. They were able to play with the cards. I didn't write anything on the blackboard, and they were able to understand in 70 minutes. So if they can do it, you can. So that's it, Anusha. I'm open for question. I hope I have not exceeded my time.
Thank you so much, Anish. You have 15 minutes left for your Q&A session. That was perfect on time. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, please revert your questions to the chat box, and I will be conveying it to Anish. So we have Emmanuel Apaya writing for you, Anish. In relation to relating to parents of your students, how do you deal with parents who get angry at you, especially when go ahead to report a situation to school authorities?
So, Emmanuel, this is obviously on a case-to-case basis. It's not only about the parent who's getting angry at you for their student, for their kid. Basically, it could be under any situation. The entire principle of handling anger is the same principle, that you have to understand either they are carrying some sort of an irritation, either they are carrying some sort of a fear, or they are carrying some sort of a pain. That's the reason it is showcasing as an anger. So if you want, you can try and understand their perspective, first of all. I know it might be difficult because, we always start processing what we have to say and what we think is right. The idea is to let them empty their talk completely. Let them say what they want to say, okay? And then see whether it is actually making any sense to you, whether there is something which you can give them like a solution. Maybe they are thinking in a different way. Maybe you can add some value. Maybe you can try and understand their perspective and saying that, okay, I understand what you're saying. And just trying to give them some sort of a solution. See, when we are faced with a stressful situation, when we are faced with a situation where somebody is getting angry, either you will get into a confronting mode, so you want to fight it out, or you want to run away. So you will either run away from that situation, either you are going to confront with that person, or you are going to hide. You are going to say, I can't do anything, I'm really sorry. You go into the passive mode. All these three options are basically reaction to the situation. What we should be doing is basically doing a step back and thinking mindfully. And if you say in your mind that I've got a choice here, I have an option, I can actually offer an option to this person right now. When you say that into your mind is going to search for at least two options, at least two. And one of the options will be slightly wiser. Okay, so it might not be the confrontational mode, it might actually give you a solution. So when you say that to your mind that, okay, this is a situation, let me think about an option. And can I come back to you on this point later on, etc. You buy some time, you become mindful, chances are that person's anger is going to dissolve, and you might be able to provide a solution. So I think the principles of anger, whether it's a parent-kid sort of a situation, whether it's a teacher-student sort of a situation, it's the same everywhere. Same everywhere. So being mindful.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anish. We have Siva Naripali questioning, how to reduce negative thinking, dear sir?
How to reduce
negative thinking?
It's a very common question. So, I mean, if I say think positive, it's not going to work, right? So don't think about negative thinking. Think about positive. It's not going to work. The thing which is working for me, I can only tell you that, okay? So whenever I feel negative, and I always, it's not that I don't feel negative at all. When I feel negative, I try and focus my attention towards what I can be grateful for at this specific moment. If I think negative about some situation, some person, etc., I will, at the same time, I'm trying to think, what is that one thing which I'm grateful about that person or event or situation? When I do that gratitude part, my mind is now getting into a balanced state, not completely negative and thinking, oh, I'm positive, not going to work, okay? You are actually diverting your focus, or you're shifting your focus from being negative to what is that something which I can be grateful for. If you don't find the reason to be grateful, just think about the air in your lungs, okay? You should be grateful. Roof on your head, food on your table. Think about that small things. Maybe that might help you. So shifting from, building gratitude, basically, that might help you to reduce negative.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anish. Jyoti Gupta questions, what happens parents are in denial of their ward situation, especially those who need learning support?
Jyoti, do you mind to unmute yourself and give me an example if possible, like a real life example?
Jaden, can you wait outside? I need to speak in the meeting. Thank you, dear. Yes. So I do have the student already. He needs learning support in the sense he refused to go into any of the classes. And parents feel that they've already sent him to school and he would be going to the classes. So they are in denial that he needs one-on-one support. So I'm having a tough time convincing. I don't want to go documenting everything, but it's that he needs support.
Okay, cool.
How to convince them.
Sure. So Jyoti, usually this is like a change. So I consider this as a change. Okay. What happens when we are going through a change? Okay. Maybe that student is going through a change. Maybe the parents are going through a change. They want him to be in a normal classroom, and you feel that that person, that student need a one-on-one support. Okay. So initially, whenever that happens, the first stage is the denial stage. They are going to deny, it's not going to happen. Everything is normal, etc., etc. They will be the denial state. And then after a while being in that state, they might also get angry, so the next logical step after denial, if you stay too much in the denial state, then it will turn into anger. Okay. And once that anger phase is gone, there will be a level of acceptance. They will start understanding, if you start giving them value, that if the student get one-on-one sort of a support, then maybe this is what he is actually, that's the level which he's actually increasing. He's actually getting much better in classroom, etc. If you give that sort of a support, then they will come down into the acceptance sort of a zone. And from that acceptance, they will actually accept that change gracefully, that it's okay. Maybe he needs some sort of an extra support, one-on-one support is completely fine. So initially you have to entirely go through that phase. It is going to happen like that.
The toughest is the anger phase, how to cope up with.
Yeah. So in that case, as I said, like you have to try and become more mindful. Like, what is that something which will dissolve that person's anger? Like, you have to give them some sort of a real life experience with that kid with that one-on-one support is actually able to generate if you are giving that one-on-one support. You have to actually demonstrate that. So don't say and respond by your words, just show it through your action that okay, the kid is actually doing really well, and if one-on-one support is given, he's going to flourish. So when you try and put it in that context, chances are that the anger mode might be like for a very small duration, and from anger they jump into the acceptance sort of a mode. So that is.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jyoti. Thank you, Anish. We have another query from Mahesh Pant. He says, I can feel I have some mental illness because I cannot concentrate things well. Is it better to have medical consultation or self-motivation and self-love will work?
Amazing, Mahesh. First of all, thank you for sharing that question. It's usually difficult to share that in an open forum, so that's really good. I acknowledge that. Basically, what I personally feel is medication and meditation should go hand in hand. So when I say meditation is as good as self-motivation, self-love. You're trying to help yourself. So medication along with meditation is going to give you that sort of a boost. Imagine, let's take an analogy, okay? You're going on a busy highway and your car breaks down, okay? Your car breaks down, sorry. And you have an option to either push your own car because you feel that you can do it by yourself. You have that sort of a motivation. You have got that sort of a muscle. You can actually move the car. It's okay. You will do it, but you will go at a very slow sort of a pace because you want to do it all by yourself. Or what you can do is you can actually get a help. You can actually call a towing company and say, hey, please take my car to the nearest garage. And when the garage person is going to fix it, it's good. Then you can actually move your car normally at a normal pace. So that's a smarter move, right? So at times we need that sort of a push. At times we need that sort of a medication. At times we need that sort of a support from a practitioner, from a medical practitioner to give us that sort of a boost. And once you get that boost, then you can actually start slowly and develop, gradually developing your self-motivation muscle. So I hope that answers your question.
Thank you so much, Anish. Thank you so much. And we have teacher Nissi Pearl mentioning, dear Anish, looks like a lot of people need your mentoring / help. It would be good, I guess, to conduct conferences like this on your specific topic. Yes, you are already doing it. If not, please give us access to know on it. Incredible wisdom. Thank you for your excellent presentation, Anish Baheti.
Amazing. So as I said, like all my details are on the screen. You can see it. trainmybrain.in. That's the website, and I keep running programs. I keep doing sessions online, offline. You will find all the information there. So I think Anisha can also share some more information.
We will be sharing Anish's recording on our platform educationinfluence.com after the completion of our 5-day event. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Anish. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Take care.